I'm too cool to be here. Yes, I'm too cool to do that. And who truly suffers by one person saying, I don't do that, I don't want that, I don't like that? No. Hi, welcome back. I'm Lana. Today I am hoping to do a little bit more of a casual video. We're going to hand wash some lingerie and catch up on honestly just what's been on my mind lately. I'm sure you probably have something that needs hand washing that you're avoiding, so maybe we can do it together. If you've never seen me before, hi, I'm Lana. I run the Honey Birdette archive here at Lana Duquesne. I preserve Honey Birdette lingerie from the 2010s to preserve the legacy of a really important time. This era in time really fundamentally changed my life. And there's lots of videos where I talk about that, but today it's just about lingerie and us hanging out and just having a nice relaxing time. So if you have any lingerie that needs washing, I highly recommend doing it now. You will thank me in the morning when you don't have to think about it anymore. Now, I was going to do a Halloween video today. I was really excited, but unfortunately I have a little bit of a chemical burn on my face. So I didn't really want to get in front of lights and bright cameras and things. But I had this candlelight little rendezvous of ours planned for a while. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity. And then we'll just do the Halloween video a little bit late. Now, at some point I will run you through like the official way to look after these. I want to be really honest with you that a lot of my lingerie is over 10 years old and it is completely fine the way that I'm washing it. I completely agree that there's a much more delicate way to do it, and I did consider looking it up, but I think it would be kind of dishonest of me to be like, well, yeah, this is the proper way, even though, you know, I'm well aware that I haven't been doing it that way. And I'd rather tell you the truth, which is that I have been doing it this way for a long time, and the sky is yet to fall. I completely agree that if you have like silk or really, really high quality materials, go ahead, do all the things you need to do. Definitely don't put this in the wash, please. One day actually in my restoration video, I'll show you what happens when a bra goes through the wash. It just gets absolutely annihilated. So definitely don't do that. And if it's silk or like a really delicate fabric, please be careful. Please wash it properly. Please Google da-da-da-da-da. But I'm fortunate that my luxury brand of choice is not quite luxury enough for me to have to worry. And in my early days of owning Honey Birdette, I was definitely really, really careful and tentative, and I tested things out really slowly. And over the years, it's fine. So I think this is a perfect combination of still needing to be hand washed, still needing to be looked after, but it doesn't feel like I'm indebted to it. With Honey Birdette lingerie, I'm just rinsing it through now. You will always see some residue in the water. They do leak a little bit, but they don't ever lose their potency. Like I have black items that are from 10 years ago that are just as colorful as black items that I bought, you know, now. So what I'm doing first is I've just filled it with some really, really mildly warm water, and then I've put in a washing powder, and I'm just sort of massaging it through while we sit and talk. So it's been about 10 minutes. And now I'm going to empty out this water and refill it with clean water. Before I do that, I'm just going to go in with a little nail brush and then very, very gently, not on the lace, just on the fabric part of the briefs and the thongs. I'm just going to run this over it, give it a little bit of an initial clean, and then we can start really rinsing and making sure. But while I do this, I really want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot recently, just because I love this channel equally being a bit of a time capsule and a record of myself as I learn different things and as I move through this part of my life. And something that's been coming up for me a lot recently is the idea of being a snob. And there's been so many situations recently where I'm like, I think I'm kind of becoming a snob. And more so than that I think it's a good thing to be a snob. I think when you're growing up, a snob is depicted as somebody who it's kind of narrow, you know, it's a rich person who is too cool the poor people, somebody who's too good for everything else. Obviously, that archetype is unpleasant. It's really, really easy to come across as a snob. Like, saying no to anything basically makes people think you're a snob. I have learned a lot from going back to in-person work after work from home for such a long time. And something I learned very much so is just how much you're expected to just go along with everything. And, you know, I observe people and they just say yes to everything. Do you like this? Yes. Do you want to do this? Yes. Are you a fan of this? Yes. Do you like this song? Yes. Do you want to go here? Yes. You have to go with everybody else to fit in. Nice concept to be like, oh yeah, but you just, you know, you've got to try things and, you know, you've got to do what other people want. And I would love it to be that simple, you know. But in this world we live in, if we're going to be really real, a lot of people are kind of bananas and antithetical to ourselves. You know, the beliefs of the people around us are often drastically different, not just a little bit, like drastically different, especially if you hold your life to a standard. And when I say that, I know that sounds snobby, but if we're going to be really real, it's not an attack for me to say that a lot of people, if you ask them about their standards for life, they're really chill. And that's not a negative. It's just a fact that there's not really a standard. If we think of it like a restaurant, there's no dress code. And that's okay. That's beautiful. Anyone's welcome. Slay. But, you know, sometimes do we want everyone to be welcome? If people are going to come, you know, say your staff at your restaurant are dressed beautiful, they put in lots of effort, the chefs put in lots of effort, all the staff put in lots of effort, but the guests show up in their pajamas and they don't give a shit. They don't care at all. Is that respectful? You know, is it really that crazy to say, you know what if we all put in the same level of effort? And what if we all respected one another and just showed up? And a lot of people do not care if the people around them show up. Something that's shocked me so much since moving to the city is friendships and relationships. They're not even there for each other. They don't talk about each other's feelings. They don't talk about each other's like hopes and dreams and fears and like anything. I do. I want to know what's going on with the people in my life, because if I don't care about you, why would I want you in my life? Like, I don't even get that. Over the last 10 years of being in a major city, or 7, 8 years, the more and more I see people's relationships, they don't hold anyone around them to a standard. They don't care. They don't mind. It's not malicious. It's not like, oh, they don't care. They just literally don't mind. There's no standard. It doesn't even occur to them to say no or to say that's not good enough, because it's honestly like, goodness, is it hard socially? And, you know, like, I grew up rurally and I was always kind of a unique little lady. So I've always kind of been on the outskirts of things. And so I know, not firsthand, but I see how hard it is for people on the inside to push back, because you're not really allowed. Through all of this and through kind of, you know, working at a finance firm and working around like the normalists of normal people, I just observed like that expression, like you've got to go along to get along, how difficult I appeared just by having my own standards. You know, I don't eat that, I don't do that, I don't watch that, I don't listen to that, I don't behave that way, I don't tolerate that. Just things that aren't actually that crazy for me anyway. Like, there's certain things in my life that I just think, you know, would you eat raw chicken? Or are you above it? And is it really that crazy to be above eating something that's poisonous? You know, it's a standard for a reason, and it's informed by my entire life. I'm not just, you know, rich and looking down on people, born into it and looking down my nose. It's good to have standards, because those standards reflect an entire lifetime of learning. It's not so shallow as the word snob makes it sound. I'm at a point now where if I walk into a restaurant and I don't like it, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to order. I used to sit there and be like, oh, but I don't want to hurt the restaurant's feelings. And it's like, whose life am I living? The restaurant's? I'm not the representative of the restaurant, and I'm not a bad person for not doing things that I don't agree with. And more, I realized that that is kind of what makes you a snob. And I realized that going into this new phase of my life where I'm taking my social media more seriously and I'm the path I'm going down, I know what I want us to do here at Lana GK, and I want to really build this into a whole world for us. Where you can see the culture that I'm talking about and the beauty that I'm talking about. And through doing that, I realized I'm going to have to stick up for myself a lot more, because in order to have standards at all, in order to live a life where you are not just constantly consuming things that are antithetical to your goal and to your beliefs, you have to say no to stuff. You have to say that isn't good enough. If people treat you poorly, you have to say bye. With me just quitting my job, if something is terrible, leave. Be a snob. Be too good. Be above things. Tell things they're not good enough for you. And then just make peace with it. They can then turn around and tell you you're not good enough, because you're not. That's where I find peace with this concept, guys. There's peace in knowing that it's just a natural opposite. I hate you, you hate me, peace and love. I'm going to get away from you. I want you to get away from me, and we all get on with our lives. Yes, I'm being a snob. Yes, I'm too cool to be here. Yes, I'm too cool to do that. And, like, who cares? Who truly suffers by one person saying, I don't do that, I don't want that, I don't like that? No. No one's going to die. We act like someone's going to freaking, like, truly, we act like we're, like, putting people's lives at risk by saying that isn't good enough. No. Why? Who cares? It's not mean. And it's not like all of these like coaches online who say, be mean. Who cares? You have every right to be mean. It's not even mean. It's not even mean to say you're better than things. It's not mean to say you're above things. I'm above washing my lingerie in a washing machine. I don't treat my lingerie that way. Does that mean I'm better than anybody else? Only at taking care of my lingerie. And does that matter? Somebody who's machine washing their lingerie doesn't care. So why should they care? If you care, do better. And if you don't care, who cares? Like, being a snob, being snobby, what does that even mean? Like, say somebody came to my channel and they're like, Honey Birdette is cheap. This isn't real lingerie, like blah, 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 blah. My lingerie is like $1,000 per piece. You know, I'm better than you. Like, if they were a snob, I would just be like, okay, like, go off. You hate cheap lingerie or like affordable lingerie or like whatever you perceive this to be. Like, okay. You're a snob, I'm a snob. Like, if anything, we should be friends, because you're holding yourself to a standard and I'm holding myself to a standard, and that slays. Like, that's a great friendship in the making. Obviously, if you like one of you's looking down on the other one, it's a terrible start to a friendship. But you know what I'm saying? You know, I think there's like a snob renaissance that needs to happen, where in this day and age when people are so freak nasty weird on all sides of every spectrum, people are acting weird these days. Why do we have to force ourselves to pretend that we like it? Why are we snobby by saying like, no, I'm above that, I don't do that? It's fine. Like, who cares? If you want to do something that somebody else deems beneath them, who cares? Then they're dumb. And then you think you can tell yourself that that's beneath you. And we all just get on with our lives. I know the social consequences that are going to come, but honestly, they're already coming. People already treat me like an asshole because I don't just do what they want me to do. Like, because I don't like watch the exact same shows, do the exact same things, have the exact same opinion. I'm already like, since I was a little kid, like I'm already kind of public enemy number one, because I just don't know how to be like everybody else. I'm not rebelling against the rules. I didn't receive them. I understand how hard it is. I hate it. I hate the fact that people treat me like I'm an awful, mean person. But I have this theory that the real loss of innocence as an adult isn't traditional ones that I can't really say. It's the fact that as an adult, you will never ever be innocent again. Somebody will always look at you and think that you're doing something wrong. No matter what you do, dude, if you are the nicest person on earth, still terrible. You'll get taken for a ride. If you're a nasty person, wow, you're a nasty person. If you're a shy person, wow, like maybe try harder. If you're a confident person, wow, you're arrogant. The real loss of innocence is accountability, and the fact that as an adult you have to make choices, and those choices will always have an equal and opposite, and a lot of the times the opposite will have people telling you how terrible you are, even though you did the right thing. And so being a snob is actually kind of just a natural state of being, I think. And I think as people get more extreme and as more awful things become part of everyday life, we've got to say, that's not welcome here. I don't want that. I don't like that. No, that's not good enough. It's like, what are we doing? You know, we're adults. If we want children, I kind of feel frustrated at even the implication that as a parent, oh, whatever, it's just a free-for-all. A free-for-all with yourself. But how do we protect anybody in this world if we don't say certain things are not acceptable? Now, quick disclaimer for this story, I am not talking badly about this person at all. I don't even really have context for what they said. I just know what they said and that it threw me for an absolute loop. And I think it honestly kind of summarizes how I've gotten to the point that I'm at. I'm just going to put the lingerie back in. It's been wet and soaking in the soapy water as we sit here. So now I'm going to put it into just plain clean water and rinse it out. Now, I was emailing with one of our clients recently and they were really struggling kind of going back and forth with the information that we were trying to get out of them. And I have a long history of working in industries where you have to translate things to people who just do not get it. So I was not worried. I was like, I'm new to this firm. Let me, make sure I'm not out of line. So we wrote the email together and this person just kept being like, no, like, that's too complicated. That's too complicated. And I was like, it's not complicated at all. It's actually really simple and clear. And I mentioned offhand, I was like, oh my goodness, how low is the bar? They said, clearly too high. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's a professional setting. What do you mean the bar is too high? And it went back and forth a little bit. And they said, if somebody's not reaching the bar, lower the bar. And even saying it now, it honestly makes me like a bit insane. Obviously, when you're talking about customers and clients and things like that, you want to break it down for them. You want to make it as easy as possible. But that doesn't mean that you aren't professional and you don't still do things properly. And this person was leaning more towards, let's not do it properly. Let's not be professional. Let's not try to get the information out of this person. Let's just like play their little kind of stupid game of not understanding the process. And it's like, no, we're the professionals. We're supposed to explain to them how the process works so that they can learn the process and meet the bar. We raise them to the bar. We don't lower the bar to them. And I think that's honestly how a lot of people live their life though. Like, if their boyfriend sucks, they just lower their expectations. If their friends suck, they just lower their expectations. If their job sucks, they just lower their expectations. And it's like, you deserve such a beautiful life. Like, I feel so intensely about it. I don't even know who you are, but like, you deserve a life that is aligned, a life that represents your values. Me thinking something isn't good enough doesn't make it not good enough. It means it's not good enough for me. We should be able to be snobby. And even to an extreme, if somebody is like, you're not wearing designer, I'm not going to be friends with you. Okay. Like, who cares? You're a dickhead. Like, people will not be friends with you for so many reasons, aren't considered snobby, but that are. And who cares? Like, honestly, it goes both ways. Why should anybody have to be friends with you? Why should anybody have to validate that you're good enough? if they don't think so. Who cares? Who cares? Like, some things that aren't good enough for me will be good enough for you, vice versa. And being a snob isn't about being mean, but it is about saying, no, I'm above that. I don't do that. Now that the laundry has been in here for a little while, I'm going to put in some soap, give it another really thorough, just like squeeze and wash around. I'm not going to be rough, but just to get it all moving about, get it really, really thoroughly in there, and then we'll rinse it and we'll be all done. Let me show you a few of the pieces since we're here. They're obviously wet, but it would be a bit brutal to sit here and sort of tease you without showing you anything, wouldn't it? So here is the Penny Lane brief. This has boning in it. You can't really see, but there's boning in this. This is a sturdy, sturdy brief, and then it's got corseting in the back. This is the Izzy thong at the back. It's really cool. And then I unboxed the suspender for this recently. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. These are, I want to say, 8 years old, I think. 8 years old. Penny Lane is 10 years old. An attached belt. It's hanging in kind of a crazy way right now. This is Whitney. This came out after my era, but it came out after Izzy, and it was the closest thing to it. So I ended up getting it. The bra is much more similar, but I just missed Izzy so much, honestly. I needed it. Look at the brief. That is so lovely. I will say, like, the relationship between Honey Birdette and Swarovski is just beautiful. It's nothing out of the ordinary, but God, it's gorgeous. The Taylor brief. Oh, Taylor is one of the absolute just most beautiful classic, like, underdogs. I don't think you would assume that it would be one of my favorites, but it's perfect. It's classic. Look at that. I'm trying to not burn it in the flame. Little bows. It's so flattering. It's a French knicker and it's just insane. The Taylor playsuit is also just unbelievable. And then we've got the Taylor playsuit as well, which is going to be really hard to show, but it's the same. It just has the bows up the side. My whole point is that I'm coming to a place where snobbiness is actually maybe going to be integral. And my relationship with the concept of being a snob and my fear of, oh no, I'm going to be a nasty, snobby person, that doesn't exist. That nasty, snobby person in my brain, she doesn't exist. She's not part of me. She's just a fear that I have. And it is good. It's really good to have the bravery to say when something isn't good enough. There's so many disgusting things happening in the world and in our culture that is so normalized that makes me sick, honestly. And if we all just sit around and say, oh, well, I don't care, whatever, anything goes. I don't want to be around people like that. And you don't just care about your image as a chill, cool person that everybody likes. You know, be brave enough to say when something isn't good enough. And then be brave enough to not chuck a fit and just walk away. Thank it for letting you know it's not for you. And then literally never look back. Turn your nose up at it and walk away. Unless it's abhorrent, then natural opposites, baby. Don't stress yourself out. Like that trend back in like a couple months ago where it was like the girls talking about what they do and don't find chic. She's not your friend. Why do you care? So she thinks you're a dickhead. You probably think she's a dickhead. If you looked at her life, you would probably think she's a loser. And she thinks you're a loser. Who cares? Thank you so much for watching this not very Honey Birdette related video. Although I do think it is incredibly relevant to the story of this channel and of Lana Duquesne. And if you're curious about my story, my first video goes into sort of the legacy of this channel. And there's a more emotional and like intimate video that not a lot of people see because I don't think it's for everybody. But if you really want to know why this channel exists, it's there. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.